What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new Madden 22 rebuild. Today we've been asked to do the Arizona Cardinals. That's what we're doing. We're rebuilding the Arizona Cardinals. Before we go any further with this video though, guys, if you guys could go ahead and help grow this channel by leaving a like and subscribe if you have not already. The support over here has been greatly appreciated. I would love to see it continue even more, so that would be greatly appreciated. But taking a look at this Arizona Cardinals roster, as we know, this team is really good in real life. They have a lot of good things about them that work pretty well for them. They have Kyler Murray. They brought in a tight end as Zach Ertz. They have DeAndre Hopkins on the outside. They have Chase Edmonds backing up James Conner, who's been pretty good. Rodney Hudson as a veteran center. But there's a lot of things here that definitely need improvement for sure. So I like Hopkins. I like AJ Green. I love Christian Kirk. I love all that. And then defensively, we have JJ Watt, Isaiah Simmons, who's a young rookie, or not rookie, but he's a young player. I can't remember if he's a rookie this season or not, to be honest. I feel like he got drafted last year, but I don't even remember anymore. Buda Baker, Thompson here at free safety, 23 years old, and then we have Byron Murphy. So I think the defense a little bit further along than the offense, but I thought this was going to be a little bit easier than I figured it would be, but no, there's actually quite a few positions we still need to upgrade on this team in order to bring this team to a championship level team here on Madden 22. Like I said, they're really good in real life, but this isn't going to do it for us in Madden. So I think we're cool with pretty much some of the offensive line. We have a 31-year-old Justin Pugh, Humphreys, 27-year-old normal development. We're definitely going to need a right guard for sure this season. I think this season we probably focused on getting a right guard and then probably upgrading a lot of the defense, like the middle linebacker maybe. Maybe the defensive line needs help more than anything. Maybe like a second corner, but because the linebacker core isn't terrible. It could be better, but it's not terrible. And I guess we have another middle linebacker with in development, so that could be huge later on. Have him maybe start at the MLB too. Maybe we'll have that later on, so that actually works in our favor. But we need a corner, we need defensive line, and we need a right guard to start things off. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a DFS player props website that allows you to go over or under on players' projections. You're facing no one in the world but yourself and the numbers, so let me go ahead and show you a few examples of how it works. So on this example, I went for a flex play on Deebo Samuel, Cordell Patterson, Laviska Shenault, and David Johnson, who were all able to hit or go under the numbers, which led to me getting $170. That's just one example. And here's another example where I didn't actually get everyone correct, but I still didn't walk away with nothing. Aaron Jones was able to hit over his fantasy score. Chase Edmonds got over 10 fantasy points, and Mercedes Lewis got under 18.5 receiving yards. But unfortunately for me, DeAndre Hopkins did not get a touchdown in this game. If you do decide to sign up, my link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They are offering 100% deposit match up to $100. So the first trade we're going to be making is sending Jordan Hicks, a 4th rounder and a 5th rounder for Christian Wilkins to immediately upgrade some of our defensive line problems. The next move we'll be making is trading Christian Kirk away for Terrell, who's going to be an immediate upgrade at the cornerback position, a star development corner, a 5th and a 7th is going along to the Atlanta Falcons as well. So that immediately upgrades some things we needed on defense. We got ourselves a lineman on the defensive end, obviously, and then we didn't really upgrade any of the offensive line. We'll address that a little bit later. And I have AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, which is why I was comfortable with trading away Christian Kirk, which he is a free agent this offseason, so we're not going to focus on re-signing him. But this is going to be the team this year. Nothing fantastic, 83 overall team. Not really sure what to expect. I mean, we got 2-star development players. That's what we kind of wanted. And we're going to have some other players we're going to have to re-sign, I imagine. But I'm not really sure what to expect out of this team. If we're going to make the playoffs or not, not really sure. We'll kind of just see what happens. Maybe we could trade Chase Edmonds for something else real quick before we actually start this season. Maybe get like an offensive lineman. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and send him to the midseason mark and see how this team is performing and go from there. So at the midseason mark, we're currently 3-4. Not that great. We have some players we need to resign here. The only people I'm really interested in resigning, though, are going to be the top 2 players that I think makes a lot of sense to bring back, obviously. Taylor Jones, really important free agent to this team, so we're for sure going to go ahead and resign him. His cap hit's going to be huge, but he's a 95 overall, so we're going to go ahead and re-sign Taylor Jones. And then I think James Conner has shown that he belongs in Arizona. He's been really good for them in real life. So we'll go ahead and sign James Conner back as well to be our star running back. And then Chase Edmonds I do like as well, but he has normal development. His cap hit would be $4 million. I mean, I guess we could go ahead and offer it to him just as like a, yeah, we'll keep him around. AJ Green, I'm probably going to pass on. We're not going to have a tight end if we don't resign Zach Ertz or Max Williams, but I'm okay with going into the offseason with no tight end. Right now we're 3-4 though, so I kind of want to go ahead and see who else is an expiring contract. Or, I mean, I guess we already know his expiring contract. Not expiring contract, but try to figure out who else I should probably trade away while they're hot, like while they're a star development or whatever it may be. Because Rodney Hudson, I know, is pretty up there in age. He is a 91 overall center, but he is 32 years old. We'll have to see how we feel about that. Might just leave him for now. But then defensively, we had Xavier Collins go up to a star developmental linebacker, so that's big. JJ Watt, I don't think I'll be trading away, but I mean, we definitely have a lot more work to do, but it's a start of things to come. We have a pretty decent team, I would say, but there definitely is some more work to do. So the one trade we are going to make at the trade deadline is trading away Zach Ertz, who it's funny because the Cardinals obviously traded for him this year. We get a star development outside linebacker that we're going to need in the future anyway, because Marcus Golden was our other linebacker. As we know, he is a normal development player, which is probably going to go down overall. So that is one move we will make to upgrade the outside linebacker spot. So we'll have, obviously, Owosu here. We'll probably move him to left outside linebacker because we don't need him to play the right side with Chandler Jones. So we'll move him to left outside, and he'll probably be just a backup for this year because Marcus Golden's overall is better. Or whatever happens there. Not middle linebacker. We don't want him. We'll change the outside linebacker, and we'll simulate the rest of the season. And we'll probably miss the playoffs, but guess you never know. We could go on a run. So this team ended up finishing 8-9. Not terrible. Could have been a lot worse, obviously, but not great either. So we have some building pieces, though, which is the good side of things. But not making the playoffs when this team is really good in real life is the unfortunate side of things. So if we go ahead and take a look at our stats, one thing we don't have to worry about, though, is something I've had to worry about in the previous videos is a quarterback. Kyler Murray's stats, definitely love the interceptions coming down a little bit. But Kyler Murray is a beast, so we're not going to trade him away. James Conner with 800 yards, 17 touchdowns. Kyler Murray with 500 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Receiving, Rondale Moore had 1,100 yards. Okay, curious to see if he maybe would have went up to star development after that season. He did. So just like that, we got ourselves a star development wide receiver without even trying. AJ Green, 900 yards, and DeAndre Hopkins with 1,100 yards. Rondale Moore had a really good season for us, so that's awesome. So we got ourselves a wide receiver too without even trying, essentially. So Chandler Jones had a fantastic year, 16.5 sacks. JJ Watt, 11. Marcus Golden had a good year with 8.5 sacks as well. 3 interceptions from Isaiah Simmons and tackles. And then deflections. Let's go ahead and see if we had any defensive touchdowns. Looks like we had 1 from Budda Baker. That's big. All right. Not too shabby, but obviously still a lot more work to do. All right, let's get in this offseason where we have a pretty important offseason ahead of us to get this team to the playoffs next year. So this team doesn't have a ton of cap space this offseason, so I was trying to figure out what's going on with that, and it looks like the veterans on our offensive line have a lot of our money. They only have 1 year left on their deal, and the penalty, I believe, is only going to be like $4 million and $2 million, as opposed to saving $13 and $10 million in order to re-sign some other players. So I think it's pretty important to get rid of these two guys here, the offensive line. But other than that, I mean, these guys down here obviously got some big contracts, but I think those are the 2 offensive linemen that we need to really hammer on getting rid of. And then Marcus Golden had a really good year, so we might end up trying to trade him as well, even though he went down to a 74 overall, so I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, we're going to focus on trying to dump some salary because right now, like I said, we only have $34 million to spend in free agency, which isn't that great at all. The Dallas Cowboys seem to be interested in both these guys, but they don't have a ton of cap room to take both of them on. So it would give us a ton of cap space, though, if we're able to dump these guys off. So we'll have to kind of see. There is some teams interested, like Atlanta, but they can't take the cap space. So we have to find a team. Jaguars are interested in Humphreys, but not so interested. So we just got to find a happy medium here in order to trade both of them away. And it looks like the Raiders have enough money to take both of them on. So basically, what I want to try to do is get I think I want to try to get an offensive lineman out of this, but at the same time, I don't really know if the Raiders are going to have that to offer. They have really no one, Alex Leatherwood. What we're going to do is I guess we can go for a different position instead. Let's go look at everyone they have. So we're going to need a tight end. Darren Waller would be fun, but that would be kind of insane if we were able to pull him off. Yannick Ngakoue, they have Colton Miller. His cap hit's crazy, though. Nick Witkowski. We don't need a middle linebacker. We don't need a secondary. I mean, I doubt they would do this. Would they give me Darren Waller? Let me see how far off this trade would be. Yeah, it's not happening. So the Raiders, I don't think it'd be enough to trade with the Raiders. What about Seattle? Seattle has some cap space, and I think they have some offensive linemen as well. They have no left tackle. We have Damian Lewis, who is a star development, so that might be an interesting guy to grab. We have Ethan Pocic, who's a star development. Okay, 27 years old. Gabe Jackson, 31. And then maybe we go for a different... What about a nose tackle? They have a 26, Puna Ford, who is normal development. And then, okay, that's pretty much it. What about Justin? He has a star development right in. Maybe we go, maybe like a little swap like this. Would they do this trade? And they wouldn't, but if we offered a draft pick, I'm pretty sure they would accept this. So let's go ahead and offer a 6th maybe. Let's see if we can finesse them with that. And they are going to accept just like that. We made a little bit of upgrades there. Freed up some cap space as well. So we definitely have some more work to do this offseason, but at least we were able to free up some money. So looking at the defense, pretty much everyone is star development or better, so we really don't need to focus on the defense too much. That's pretty much figured out. The offense is really where we need to be focusing on. The offensive line and the tight end spot is what we need to be pretty much locked in on this offseason. Maybe even a wide receiver if we want to go that route. We have more money than that. It's only showing 34 million, but we have like 50 million now, I think. So left tackle would be pretty important to get here, but that would be a lot of our money going towards him. So I'm not sure we want to go that route. But he might be the best offensive lineman on the board, and he really might be worth it, to be honest. So let's see. Left guard, left tackle. Yeah, there's not much after him. Not much there. We have Matt Paradis, right guard. Austin Corbett, we'll have to go for him, and right tackle. So I honestly think we sell out for both these guys. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and offer Austin Corbett, or Corbett, however you say his name, a lot of money, 108 total points. That should give us him. And then let's go to Teron Armstead, who I'm probably going to need as well, just because, like I said, we don't really have a ton of help up front. So offensive line, and that's going to give us 101 total point offer. We still don't have we're still not his best offer though. So let's go ahead and try this even more. 12 million, would that do it? 104 total points. That's going to give us the best offer there. So both of our first offers are to offensive linemen. Let's see if we get them both, because we need Teron Armstead. Our left tackle is an F right now, so hopefully we get both of them, and we get Austin Corbett, but not Teron Armstead. It's really hard to get Teron Armstead, I've noticed. He just always never comes to the team I'm trying to get him to come to. So we still need offensive linemen. $47 million though, so we still have the availability. We need a tight end as well. I don't know if I would sign Rob Gronkowski though. Would be kind of fun actually, low key. Do I sign Gronk? Because we could sign Tanyan. You know what? Gronkowski, why not? Let's bring Gronkowski in. Let's see if he would come here. 98 total points. The Bengals look like they've offered him way more money, I guess. All right. I don't know if I should offer a 33-year-old this much money. He isn't. Yeah, I'm gonna not do that. Okay. Top 100. What do we got? Melvin Gordon, Devin McCourty. The market's pretty thin. There's not a ton here, man. So we're gonna have to probably use the trades for the rest of this, because I don't really see anything else. Tackles, we need a tackle very badly. That's why I was trying to sell out for Teron Armstead, but we didn't get him. At least we got Corbett, but other than that, we still need a lot more. We need a tight end, we need an offensive line, we need a lot of help. So just a little bit of a simple trade, a 2nd round pick for a star development left tackle and a star development tight end. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna draft with our 1st round pick and allow the rest of the players, or allow the rest of our cap space to roll over into next season. I think that's the best way to do things. So this is going to be the offensive line for now. We still need a right tackle, but for now it'll work. It's fine. And then free agent, or then the draft is where we'll try to hit on one player. Maybe we get like a hidden development, tight end, right tackle. We'll see what we can grab. I'm probably going to grab best available out of the draft, but for now that is pretty much going to be our free agency. That is pretty much it. So let's go straight to the draft, where the game's going to crash on me at least once or twice. But once we're on draft night, I will see you there. So one crash later, here we are in the draft, where obviously it is time to pick our player of the future if we can get one. So Isaiah Spiller, Keldon, Charles Cross, I actually know he's hidden development. So we need a right tackle anyway. So that's who I'm taking. At least he was hidden development the last time I drafted him. I don't really know how consistent it is. I'll draft him again, and this time he's still hidden development. So yep, we're going to go ahead and feel satisfied about that with our 1st round pick. That is how you know things. Just like that, I'm going to advance to the... Actually, we're going to advance to our 3rd round pick as well, I believe we have, if I'm not mistaken. And we have... Yeah, we have 15. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to draft somebody here with our 3rd round pick as well to maybe help us out. What do we kind of need? I mean, we could draft another corner. I would feel okay with that. We could use another wide receiver as well. 42% completion rate. Deep route is a D. His skills, we got... F, stamina, D, stiff arm, D. Okay, you look like a terrible prospect. No, thanks. What about Jahan Dotson? He's got D, catch in traffic, and then B, break tackle, C, juke move, and C, kick return. Neither one of those guys seem that promising, to be honest with you. We could draft a center of the future, maybe, because Ronnie Hudson is a little You know what? Screw it. Normal development center. I figured, but at least we went offensive line. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me in the draft, but at least we got a hidden development, tackle. We kind of needed that. So our lineup going into season number 2 is going to look like this. It's nowhere near a finished product, but at least it's, it's stringing along. It's not terrible. Could be better. But Chandler Jones, Thompson, Xavier Collins, Isaiah Simmons. There's just a lot here that looks good. Star development everywhere. Star development everywhere here besides obviously fullback, which we don't really care about, but hidden development, Charles Cross. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and simulate season number 2. I don't expect to... I mean, we could make the playoffs. We're an 85 overall, so you never really know. But kind of hoping, or I'm kind of expecting to not make it and be like a bad team again. So at the end of season number 2, we actually ended up making the playoffs at 10-7. We were 6-1 at the midseason mark, so kind of a... down spiral our year towards the end, but at least we're in the playoffs. We get to play the Washington football team in the first round of the wild card, so that should be interesting. But let's go ahead and take a look at the stats to kind of see how everything went for the season. I'm glad we were in the playoffs. Kyler Murray, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3,800 yards. We did re-sign him at the midseason mark. Obviously, kind of need to keep Kyler Murray, 700 yards. So our rushing attack isn't that fantastic, but Kyler Murray kind of makes up for it with 600 yards, so I'm sure he's part of it. Receiving wise, DeAndre Hopkins with 1,200 yards, 1,000 from Rondé Moore, and even Andy Isabella had 700 yards. Kind of, he's still normal development. I was about to say, did he go up at all? Nah, he did not. So, sacks wise, we had a 9.5. So Chandler Jones only 8.5. Marcus Golden with 8.5. And then interceptions wise, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Here we go though. In the first round against the Washington football team. Let's go ahead and see if we can go on a little bit of a run here. If we don't, it's fine because we don't have the final product yet of this team that I want to put together. It is in Washington, as we are going to lose 28-21. So unfortunately, came up short, but it's okay because we have more ways to improve this team one last offseason in order for us to be more of a Super Bowl contender that I want us to be. But so far, we're in a pretty good stance, I would say. So let's go ahead and send to the offseason. And we're not going to have a ton of cap space this offseason, I don't think, though. We have $54 million, so that's actually not too bad. So let's get to the re-signing stage where it's going to be pretty important to re-sign some of the guys because I was negotiating with some people. We brought back pretty much everybody but a couple of defensive players that were kind of being stubborn on their salary. So let's go ahead and try to get those guys back. And then, so we have Byron Murphy, Christian Wilkins. These 3 guys are going to be important. I like the bonus and the duration, just not the salary. So if we move this up to $6 million, let's see if he's okay with that. And boom, Byron Murphy's back. Okay. Jalen Thompson, the contract length is good, but that's it. So yeah, we were kind of lowballing this guy a little bit. Not going to lie, that Madden suggested this was the first offer. So I'm going to round this up to $4 million and hopefully he accepts that. And boom, just like that, I got him back. And then last but not least, Christian Wilkins. I don't remember what he said, but I'm just going to improve everything there. And that should give us about, boom, $38 million to spend a free agency to use on our last bit that we need to improve the team. It looks like we're going to need a kicker this offseason as well. So make sure we get ourselves a little bit of a kicker. But other than that, $30 million to improve the team, I think is more than enough to get whatever we need. So let's take one last look at this roster before we go in and try to make the Super Bowl team that we need to make. So everything offensively is great. Tight end, I mean, maybe a third wide receiver wouldn't hurt, but other than that, everything is looking good. And then I guess a backup quarterback would be solid too. But defensively, I mean, everything looks good here as well. So I think we could probably, since this next season is going to be the last one, we could honestly probably go ahead and sign like a stud in free agency. Really could. We could go for a third wide receiver, which I think would probably be the best thing for us to do. So let's see who the best available player is, as we have $30 million to spend. And then we could probably use our first round pick. So we have Quentin Nelson as a left guard. We have Kareem Hunt, Deron Payne, so Montez Sweat. So we could improve the defense. There's not a ton of good wide receiver options, which is where I would want it to go. Marquise Brown would have been solid. Quentin Nelson would be cool as well. Kareem Hunt as a running back, I just don't think we really do that. Deron Payne, Zadarius Smith, Montez Sweat, Marquise Brown. So I guess, you know what? We can go for Marquise Brown as just another weapon for Kyler Murray just to have in his arsenal. And then other than that, I mean, we need a kicker. That's also what we need. So nothing crazy. Let's go for Younghoe Koo. We need a kicker. So we'll go ahead and grab Mr. Younghoe Koo. And just like that, that's probably going to be it for me in free agency. Just those two moves alone should get us to where we want to be. And then we have a first round pick and a couple picks that I kind of want to use in the trades as we get both of them. So Marquise Brown, is going to make our offense a lot better. It's going to give Kyler Murray another weapon to throw to. And then last but not least, like I said, I think I want to go ahead and try to trade my first-round pick for somebody to just put us over the top. I guess we could sign a backup quarterback as well. But other than that, I like what we have. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter what we go for. We could go pretty much for any position and just try to get like a stud if we could. I don't know how much money it's going to cost, but we're going to try. We're going to try to trade a lot of our picks for one last person just to put this team over the top into Super Bowl contention. So the move we're going to make is to just upgrade the tight end spot to give Kyler Murray one more weapon. And just like that, we have Kyle Pitts coming in to be another weapon for Kyler Murray, and that's going to be it. So we just traded a lot of draft picks to get Kyle Pitts, obviously, but now we have a superstar X Factor tight end for Kyler Murray to throw to. So offensively, everything looks good. Defensively, everything looks good. So I feel like that move was worth it. One final thing to do, and this is going to be pretty much it, is we don't have $13 million to spend, so nothing crazy to be able to do in free agency. But I'm just going to go ahead and grab a backup quarterback. So Mitchell Trubisky will do, I guess. Just something along the lines of that is going to be just fine. And where's number one offer? So hopefully Mitchell Trubisky just decides, you know what? Let me come be the backup quarterback to Kyler Murray. So just like that, 91 overall offense. That should put us in contention as a Super Bowl team next year. If it doesn't, I don't know what will. Let's go into next season. We're ready to fry. We're ready to win this Super Bowl. So season number 3 comes to an end, and we finished up 12-5, winning our division and get to play the Atlanta Falcons, who we made a trade with to start things off in the first round. So awesome stuff. I mean, we're in the playoffs. We're right where we want to be, pretty much. This is exactly what we asked for. This is what we signed up for. Let's go ahead and take a look at our lineup real quick. Just one last checkup before we go ahead and jump into things. See if anybody's like jumped up like crazy. Kyle Pitts, everything else looks kind of the same here. D-Hop, James Conner's an 88. Kyler Murray's a 99 overall. We have Cole Kmet playing fullback now, I guess. And defensively, we have Xavier Collins up to an 83. Isaiah Simmons up to an 85. Corners are really good. We have a 91 overall corner now. And I guess we took a free safety in the draft okay, a hidden development free safety. Didn't even draft him, but okay, cool. Definitely love that. And that must have been in the 4th round because I traded my draft picks, but whatever. So that's fine. Let's go straight in to this Super Bowl. Actually, not Super Bowl. We have to take it one playoff series at a time. But I do want to look at the stats before we simulate one last playoffs. So we have 31 touchdowns and 8 interceptions from Kyler Murray. A lot better year out of him rushing wise. James Conner has yet to, get 1,000 yards, but I think it's because Kyler Murray takes some of those rushing yards away by 18 touchdowns on the ground for him. Chase Edmonds had 2. Receiving, Hopkins had 1,300 yards. Rondell Moore with 1,100 yards, and Marquise Brown with 6 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts with only 790 yards. Defensively, let's go ahead and take a look at the sacks. We had 9.5 from Justin, and then 7.5 from Chandler Jones. 7.5 in interceptions. We had 4 from Isaiah Simmons. And then let's see if we had any touchdowns. We had 1 from Budda Baker once again. All right, here we go, man. Can we get past the first round and beat the Atlanta Falcons? I would assume we can, but you never know. Here we go to the divisional round, hopefully. 91 overall offense going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And we beat them 44-27. Absolutely demolished them. Now we get to play the Dallas Cowboys. If you watch the last 2 videos, the Dallas Cowboys I've met in the Super Bowl. So this time, they can't get to the Super Bowl unless they beat me. So hopefully, history doesn't repeat itself and they aren't going to the Super Bowl. I mean, this is going to be a good matchup no matter what. So we just dominated Atlanta. So hopefully we can beat the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go. Divisional playoff. And we lost 28-17. Am I surprised? No. The Cowboys are the Pelicans of 2K. That's just the way it is. All right. Well, here you go. That is it for me. We put together a pretty good Arizona Cardinals team, but unfortunately came up short because the Dallas Cowboys are OP in Madden. So, unfortunately for us, this was the final lineup we put together. But you know what? I feel solid about what we were able to do. So, no Super Bowl for us today. As long as I'm in the AFC, I could probably make the Super Bowl. But playing the Dallas Cowboys just never works out in my favor. So, thank you guys for watching. Definitely leave it a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what team we should do next. But this is Crushables 2. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.